So wrapping up this week with what opposes you. Your thinking opposes you. It's even understanding that. It's important to understand what you're thinking, and through time, you'll learn why you're thinking those thoughts. Through time, you will. But when you understand what you're thinking, that's when you can just kind of check and say, is that opposing me? Or is that moving me forward in the direction that I want? So it's really paying attention to that, because I'm telling you, your thinking opposes you so much. I'm going to share a quick story to illustrate that point. It was in 1999 that I decided to get serious about my own health and well-being once and for all. I made the commitment in my heart. There was no turning back. I was done with the yo-yos, the up and downs, the gain weight, lose weight, this, that, this. And I hadn't even tried a lot of diets or anything at that point, because it just wasn't on my radar, actually. I can't say they weren't around. I'm sure they were. It just wasn't on my radar to do that. The only thing I knew to do at that time was be active, because I was an active person. So I made that commitment. Then it was after 2012. I was around other people learning different areas of my own life and areas that I needed to grow in. And they didn't have the same thinking and understanding about health and wellness that I did. So my thinking in that area did not stay as strong. And I went through about 6 years of constant struggle with my own health and well-being. I'd put on weight that I'm like, what happened? I'd never experienced it for, almost 15 years. And all of a sudden, I'm putting on weight. What happened? My thinking. My thinking got diluted. And then I put this weight on. And then I'm trying to get it off. But I'm not trying to get it off the way I originally did with making a commitment in my heart. I'm trying to get it off with all these diets. I experienced all these things that people experience that they go through. And I'm like, oh my gosh, none of this stuff works. I can't even say that none of this stuff works, because really it'll always come back to our thinking. It temporarily worked. And then what was happening? When I wasn't following the program exactly, my thinking was like, is that weight coming back on? Am I going to put that back on? Am I going to go like, and I would think about, and then I'd start to see, even in my own mind, I'd start to see myself with the tighter pants. Like, because I was 15 pounds heavier. So 15 pounds, and when you're a small frame, that's a lot. So just that little bit. And I started to visualize that coming back. And then I'm visualizing it. So then I start thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it, and then I'm worried about it, and it's constant. And so then what happens? Well, then all my habits and my behavior that add to the weight, I start doing. Why? Because I'm thinking about it. Versus, you set a vision for the end of 2022. Because one of the things I even talked about is casting a vision for your well-being. And if you've cast that vision, you need to focus on it every day. Sometimes you might need to just capture that vision so many times throughout the day. Start capturing your thoughts and understanding, wait a second, does this thought line up with this vision? If the answer is no, get rid of the thought. Get the thoughts that line up with the vision. Get the thoughts that line up with the vision. In 1999, I had a vision of myself, and I was fit and healthy and strong. This is before I had children. And I knew I was going to have children, younger children, into my 40s. So I wanted to be the best mom ever. I wanted to play with my kids. I wanted all these things. That's the vision I had in 1999. I didn't let go of that vision until that season. It was about a 6-year season. I lost that vision. I got sidelined. That's why I'm here to teach you. I don't want you to get sidelined. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to learn from what I had to experience. Because back in 1999, when I had that vision, it was very simple. I knew what I needed to do. Because I saw the results that I wanted. I just lined everything up with that. It wasn't complicated. It wasn't rocket science. Like I said, I didn't do 100 meal plans. I didn't do all these diets. I didn't do all these. Everything was very simple, very common sense. That doesn't exist today. And that's why I'm sharing with you. You have to pay attention to your thinking, because your thinking will create the vision in your head. I remember every single time during that 6-month period, it's like my weight would go back to what I know it as today, and it would go up 15 pounds. And then it would stay there for almost a year, and then I'd go through and I'd come back down again. Why? Because I did some sort of program. And then down here again, I'm like, oh gosh, I sure hope it doesn't come back. I hope it doesn't come back. And then sure enough, because I'm thinking about it all the time, I get the vision of myself, and I'm like, oh gosh, I remember what it's like when my pants were tight. I remember what it was like when I would run, and it's just all these negative thoughts. I got this vision, and then this would happen again. And the cycle would continue, and it would continue, and it would continue. And that's where I want to share with you, my friends. Let your thinking begin to match the vision that you set for yourself for the end of this year. Just that in itself will radically change the rest of this year for you. I want to go back to what I said on Monday. One small step forward. A step forward means you are actually thinking and understanding differently. One small step is better than 1,000 circles going nowhere. Because that one small step requires you to slow down, change, and pay attention to what you're thinking about. And I'm going to tell you straight up, you can't think if you've got 1,000 social media platforms that you feel you need to respond to every day. You'll start thinking everybody else's thoughts, or just the same old thoughts that you've always had. Probably kept you going in a circle. That's why I'm sharing with you, one small step forward requires you to change things you're doing, but to start learn about yourself, learn and understand, pay attention to how you're thinking, because your thinking opposes you, but also your thinking works with you. I have to highlight what opposes you so you can get stronger as you move forward to the vision. As your thinking lines up with your vision, you will move forward towards your vision. Otherwise, you'll just keep going in circles. I want you to move forward towards your vision because you're worth it. Everything about you is worth it. And so are the people that you hang out with, because you changing changes them. Some it'll be for the good, and some it won't be. And you can't control it. No different than I can control what you actually choose to do. I can't. I don't even want to. I don't want that responsibility. I quite love it. I want to be the example to show you and be the example right alongside with you what it looks like to actually achieve something, to move forward in your life, actually get the results that you want for the rest of your life, not go through that 6-year season that I went through. No, I don't want you to go through that. I don't want the people in your family to go through that. I don't want anybody to go through that, because that was nasty. It was a great training ground for me, but I never want to repeat that again, and I don't want anybody else to. I want to encourage you, pay attention to your thoughts. Whatever it is you need to do to pay attention to your thoughts, slow down all the stuff you put in your thinking. Slow down how much you're on your social media platforms and every movie that you watch and whatever else it is. Slow down so you can start to slow down yourself, pay attention to your thoughts, making sure that they line up with the direction you want to go. That's how you're going to get where you want to go at the end of this year.